Hello and welcome to Talk Good Games. Just finished West Ham United 3, Cardiff City 1. Finally, West Ham are back-to-back wins in the Premier League since nearly 2 years. Gonzo, we knew it was going to be a bit of a battle, but we had our chances for the first half hour or so. And Ives had a shot half off the line, a couple of headers, good saves, lots of possession, but while we were close, we were struggling a little bit, would you say?
A little bit, but there was no surprise there. We discussed in both in the preview and particularly the one we did in the pre-match build-up that they weren't going to leave the space in behind like Newcastle did. So that was always going to be the case. And I was very impressed with the way Pellegrini decided to go about it. We wondered about Antonio playing at right back. Well, we knew. Now we know. He ain't basically going to play as right back. He's going to play as a winger, and they're just going to push up. Diop was allowed to run from central defence, and basically the team were just allowed to make up numbers from other areas of the pitch, and it was just numbers against a steadfast rearguard action from Cardiff at that point.
I have to say, though, there was one point in that first half an hour there was passing between, surprisingly, Diop on the edge of their box, plus Snodgrass and Anderson. And that's one of the best bits of football I've seen all season from us. Granted, it went over a corner, didn't end in a goal or anything, but that little quick pass in and around the 18-yarder as well is a very difficult place to go, very congested, but it was fantastic to watch. It was deserved something a bit better than a corner at the end of it. But 34 minutes, you could say, was against the run of play. You know, we had everything. We were sitting, passing about, but right up the other end. And then Anatovic, who was in a bit of a funny mood, if you like. He missed a decent chance when a fantastic ball by Anderson. He tried to lob the keeper spontaneously. Crashes into the back of Hoylett. Is this a penalty for you, first of all?
Well, it was a penalty, but to give it its context, it was a real funny spell of the game for Arnautovic. He'd just done a wonderful run, dribbled past players, had a shot which was, I mean, I guess technically you'd say it was clear of line. It wasn't really. It just hit the defender's leg. It was the defender did well to get back into position, but he was unlucky not to score. The Hoylett one, it was undoubtedly a penalty. It was clumsy, and he should have been a little bit cuter than that. But by that point, as I say, to give it context, Arnautovic had a bee in his bonnet because Bamba had hacked him a bit. Technically got the ball, but I followed through a bit as well. And you know what Arnie's like when he gets annoyed. He has a point to prove. And I think after the dribble and the shot that wasn't quite a goal, he found himself back in central defence at a point where both our fullbacks were forward as well, I think, at the time as well. And he was just a little bit too feisty, and it certainly was a penalty.
Yeah, it was a penalty for me as well. Good save by Fabianski. It's difficult to catch them. To catch it is something. And the Northern Palace out. Rawls misses it. It's one of those pens, I think, Gonzo. If it goes in, everyone says, oh, fantastic penalty. He sends to keep it the wrong way. But because Fabianski's guessed the right way and caught it, it looks like a poor pen. But actually, I think it is a all right enough penalty. There's plenty of power behind it. Fabianski just does extremely well to hold on to it. But then from then on, it almost like Cardiff got their tails up a bit from then on. For that last 10 minutes of the first half, they sort of took that as motivation, and they pressed us a little bit, and we sort of got a little bit rattled. Would you say that's fair?
I think a little bit. I mean, I don't want to slag Cardiff off, but I'm going to. But I don't mean that in a sense that I think they've done really well to do what they're doing, and they've got no money. And Warnock has done a fantastic job, and he's got to work with what he's got. But I was watching it, and something struck me, and it's that Cardiff basically play rugby. Now, what they do is it's like if you get a penalty in rugby, you can kick for post, or you can kick long for a line out, and basically you gain territory. So and then you move the whole team up the pitch, and you gain. Rugby's all about territory, and that's how Cardiff play football. So what Cardiff want, they don't have the ability to play. They had one little nice passing move throughout the game. That was it. They don't have the ability to move the ball up the pitch with skill. So what they want is a throw-in, or a free kick, or something, a corner. They want to get something. That's why it was silly when Diop hacked the geezer down. Oh, that was silly. You don't need to give them those sorts of opportunities. And I just thought at the point when they got back into the game, we had started to foul them. We had started to give them throw-ins and things like that. And Masuaku in particular as well, and run the ball out of play a couple of times. And looking at how they play, you don't want to give them any point where they get a set play so they can move all their team up the pitch as a unit, which is what they want to do because they can't do it through open play. And that's what I thought happened. We allowed them to get up the pitch.
Yeah, I agree with that because I thought we were rattled, but I don't think they took advantage whatsoever in it. Fabianski had to make a couple of saves. They weren't anything out of the ordinary. There are a couple of long rangers, a free kick he had to deal with as well that he was comfortably punched away on all occasions. He's probably the busier the keeper towards the end of the first half. But we gave them opportunities, a bit like Newcastle, actually. We gave Newcastle opportunities, but Newcastle created chances with them. Cardiff didn't even create chances. We were nervous, I thought, for the last 10 minutes, but Cardiff were just crap. I'm sorry, but they were awful. There's nothing in that team. There's no creativity there whatsoever. It's 11 hard-working men, which is fine, but when you have to start asking questions, they don't have the ability to do it, and we found we were comfortable with it, if you like. Going at 0-0. Now, the talking point, the interesting one was when Arnautovic went off Gonzo before halftime, Perez came on. Everyone thought Andy Carroll would come on. It took him 4 minutes. 4 minutes into the second half, and he proved Pellegrini right. Snodgrass, second assist. I think he played 12 games this season. No goals, no assists, and he's now got his second and third assist in 2 games. Lovely assist. I like this kind of assist, Gonzo. Just the awareness of where Perez is, little delicate touch, and bang, 1-0 West Ham. But that's what you need. A half chance like that, a little something, goal.
Yeah, it was a nice flick. I mean, if Lionel Messi had done what Snodgrass did, then everyone would be raving about it. Yeah, just 2 minutes before, I was on the forum on the match thread, and I was just saying how crap Perez was, and I didn't know why he was being brought on. So I had to eat a little bit of humble pie on the forum at that point, because I just wasn't convinced by him.
I think you're right, actually, because at half time I was thinking Perez has been on the pitch for 8-10 minutes here, not seen him once, did not even see him at all. But Pellegrini was proven right.
Yeah, I mean, what could you say? I mean, it was absolutely brilliant, and it was clearly the turning point in the game, and then it turned quickly. I mean, but I should just say, I thought he shot straight at the keeper, so I thought the goal, whilst it was set up nicely by Snodgrass, it was fortunate that it went in, but we'd earned that because we were the team on the attack, you know.
6 minutes later, 2-0. Perez again. Masuaku come down the left this time. Perez seemed to have yards of space to run into. Cardiff just disappeared. Their defence was just AWOL. Masuaku, little flip. Perez doesn't even look at where the goal is. I like it when a striker scores a goal without looking at the goal. When he comes into the box, he's watching the ball. He knows where the goal is. He doesn't have to look. I like a striker like that. Hits it through the keeper's legs. 2-0. Game over, really, and a double for Perez.
Yeah, I loved this goal for a really good reason. I'm really enjoying watching what Pellegrini's doing at the moment. And in a few seconds, not the immediate pass from Noble, but just let's take it back 30 seconds before that, our centre-backs had split. Noble was almost playing as a sweeper just in the middle of the 2 centre-backs, and both full-backs were forward. That was no fluke. That Masuaku was where he was, because Antonio was in the same position. Literally, there had been some tactical instruction for the centre backs to split. If you watch it, and if you were to rewind it back, you'd see Diop's almost at right back at this point. And I just thought it was really, really good. Everybody had been pushed forward, almost playing with 3 at the back, and the rest were attacking, or with maybe Rice just shielding in front of it. Was tactically really clever. Noble moves up, plays it round the corner. Masuaku's in, and a much better finish from Perez for that one. No luck involved in that one. Really smart finish.
On our mark, it was 3-0. It was 3 goals, and it was a bit easy at this point. Snodgrass corner. His corners were on point all game, actually. I will say that. In the first half, we had Rice's header, which was saved. Ogbonna was a fantastic save from Ogbonna's header as well. Good goalkeeping by the Cardiff keeper. But there's only so many you can keep out until eventually one of them goes in, and it's Antonio's header this time. Deserved 3-0 at this point for the amount of possession we had.
Oh, for sure. And it looked like it was going to get more and more. And I'm pleased for Antonio as well, who's not had the best of luck with the ball running for him, but he's put in a lot of effort each time he's played. Obviously, he missed the game against Newcastle. He was rested. And it looked like it being a wise choice from Pellegrini to do that. And we spoke about maybe his physical attributes being quite key in this game. And yeah, I mean, a big, strong guy at the near post and headed it in. I'm pleased for him.
Plenty of half chances for West Ham for the remaining half hour, particularly Diangana going close on a couple of opportunities. His first goal for West Ham is surely not too far away. Then in the dying seconds of the game, it was 3-1. Somehow got bumbled in after a scramble on the line. Murphy made it 3-1. Full time. It was a good test for us today, Gonzo. I think that was a different test of what we've come up against this season a little bit. Brighton and Huddersfield, it was similar. You know, there was no space. The first half, they sat back. They blocked the space, removed the pace from our game. And it was a case of, well, what are you going to do? Because against Brighton and Cardiff, I don't think we had the answers. But today, we come up with them.
Well, look, I mean, just firstly, for their goal, I think I can say it, not with impartiality, but I said their penalty was a penalty. It was a foul by Arnautovic. That was a foul by Gunnarsson on the keeper. It was a foul. It wasn't, shouldn't have been a goal. No way. I think if they had VAR, that's not a goal. So, but I liked it. I enjoyed that today for different reasons. That was you're right. It was a test. It was a different test. We got to see the sort of swashbuckling counter attack against Newcastle with all that space in behind their backline, which was lovely seeing Anderson running into that space. Different today, different tactics. It was interesting to see how Pellegrini responds. I just can't wait to see more. I love the two strikers, what he's trying to do, and I just loved, as I say, watching it from a tactical point of view, where he was moving the centre-backs I've discussed, the way the full-backs went up, and Noble and Rice, the dynamic between them two I thought was particularly good, and then who would join in to help make the extra number. Sometimes it was Arnautovic dropping back in the first half to sort of link up with him as the tip of a diamond, if you like. And then on other times, it was one of the centre-backs coming. Really great. This is a totally different brand of football than we've seen at West Ham for a long, long time. And he's thinking. You can see there's a lot of thinking going on. Really enjoying it.
I enjoyed the first half hour. This is going to sound strange because it was 0-0 after the first half hour, but I enjoy watching us just pass the ball about. I actually enjoyed us taking our time and saying, look, we're still in the first half here. We will keep passing about patiently. We will keep working Cardiff. And arguably, for the last 10 minutes of the game, I would say the first half hour worked because Cardiff were knackered by the last 10 minutes. We were cutting through them, no problem. And I will say that first half hour has given us that last 10 minutes of the game. Us just passing it, pass. Cardiff were running, chasing shadows. They couldn't get near us in the first half hour. We were so relaxed. I see Noble doing passes today in the first half that he probably wouldn't have done last season and the season before, where he's giving it to Snodgrass, 10 yards, he's putting it, trying to squeeze it between players to players' feet, and they were all working, they're comfortable with one another, they're confident in passing to each other, to their feet now. I loved that first half hour, Gonzo, just the way we were just spraying the ball about, and, we went forward, if they cleared it, they were just clearing it, they were just getting it straight back to us, because we had them pinned back, and we just started again. We went, right, that's fine. We've got the ball back. We'll calm it down. We'll try again. We controlled the tempo for that first half hour, and it was a delight to watch because that's going to be so important. When we do take the lead against teams like this, it is important we are already controlling tempo. We've got momentum, and if they ever get some, we just kill it straight away. And that first half hour was key, I think, in this game for the last part of it. Anyway, what about Arnautovic, though? We didn't miss him in the second half. Is that another massive positive for us? Because we've always wondered, can we cope without him? Actually, we arguably cope better without him today.
Yeah, I do think there were a few reasons for that. Tactically, I've explained. I won't bore you all with it again. But I think Anderson, maybe not as good as he was against Newcastle, but there's a confidence to him now. He's willing to take people on. He's still looking for those passes, which has given us a nice creative hub. I thought Rice and Noble just operating there just gives a really good platform, and just really interesting, bearing in mind that neither Zabaleta nor Cresswell had obviously performed so well against Newcastle were involved. That was coming through there. You mentioned Diop joining with the attack earlier on. It wasn't the only time he would join in with the attack during that game. So I think there's so many options sort of coming from everywhere. And of course, Snodgrass, who you mentioned as well, is providing a couple of assists today. But even if it's not assists, there does seem to be what you might call in the modern day key passes, if you like. There are a number of key passes coming from him. We just look like we're working on stuff on the training ground, and it's coming from everywhere. It's very, very enjoyable. Clearly, back-to-back wins, so we're a little bit we've got a little bit of a sugar rush, haven't we, at the moment from next? We're not used to it, but fantastic.
Well, it sets us up well. Crystal Palace got beat tonight 3-1 away to Brighton, which is, they consider that to be their derby, etc. Morale's on the low. There's people calling for Roy Hodgson. We're going into the game now with 2 wins off us. And the funny thing is, we're now looking at the top half all of a sudden. Just 2 wins and there's something like that. 6 goals in the last 2 games. It's fantastic to watch. We could have had 10, 12 goals in the last 2 games. That's how good it is. Individual performances, though. I don't think you're going to criticise anyone tonight. So would you like to pick out who you wish to praise, etc.? Anyone stood out for any particular reason?
Yeah, I thought lots of people stood out, but for different reasons. As you've discussed, I also enjoyed the start. I was never in any doubt that we were going to win that game, either before the game or from the moment it kicked off. There's no way they're going to keep us out. They'd surrendered so much possession. We know what it's like because we've been in that situation ourselves, having 20% possession or whatever, 30%, whatever they may have had. You know, when you've got players like we have now, and Dean Garner was wonderful when he came on, real bright spot. I was pleased to see that. They were never going to keep us out, but I thought Rice, I thought Noble, I thought Diop again. Bonner didn't do. It was unlucky. Everidge made 2 really smart saves from him, so maybe he could have had a goal. We wouldn't get into my top players, but it's worth noting because it's hard to come back in having been out for so long. Snodgrass, of course. Perez got 2 goals. I didn't see a lot else from him aside from that. But what else do you need? He got a couple of goals. I was pleased to see Chicharito jump on and really celebrate him. He looked genuinely pleased that he'd scored, which is nice. I was pleased for Anderson. That people spoke about consistency with Anderson. That was nice to see a second game where he was up for it and going for it again. Yeah, I did think the midfield were particularly good. And of course, Fabianski, who saved a penalty. And whilst they didn't have an awful lot, he was always there.
It was good to see the defence cope well. It's a pity they didn't get a clean sheet. They probably deserved it. But to make 3, I still think we made 4 changes in the back 4 because Diop had to move from the left to the right to centre-back position. All 4 defenders were not playing in that position on Saturday afternoon against Newcastle. 3 of them weren't even on the pitch. So it's a completely new partnership. Fabianski's got 3 new defenders in front of him all of a sudden. It looked like they played together against Newcastle, in all honesty. You could not tell they came in. It wasn't the biggest test. Cardiff did not test Masuaku enough. They did not test Antonio enough. But whatever they got thrown at them, they dealt with well, I thought. And Masuaku and Antonio influenced the game hugely going forward. You talk about Pellegrini's tactical switches. One thing I did notice was in the first half, I was wondering why Antonio wasn't in the box for corners, because when it came out, he was there. And I thought, okay, maybe it's in case Cardiff counter-attack. We've got someone that's fast back. Then all of a sudden, he gets his 3rd goal from a header. That's why I was surprised it was Antonio, because I thought he was the halfway line kind of guy for corners and stuff. So it's good to see him even switching these little things up, because if you're a defender and you're used to marking one player every corner, and all of a sudden Antonio's in the box, you're thinking, who the hell's marking this guy? Because for the last hour, he's been standing away over there. It just confuses things. I thought our defence did well. I thought our midfield was fantastic. I tell you what, I actually think Anderson and Hernandez had a quiet game. They had a bad game. They just weren't as influential as they were at the weekend. And if you can score 3 goals and have 2 players of that caliber and ability have a quiet game, they're still 7 out of 10. I'm not saying they're poor performances, but they didn't do anything of influence. That's scary to think that if actually they were 8 and 9 out of 10s as well, just how many could we have had today? And if we can get by, I'm happy, by the way, for Anderson Hernandez to have a quiet day. Then the next game, they're both lit up, while the other 2, like Perez, for example, has a quiet game on Saturday. I'm happy for that to happen. That's what we need. We need the goals to be shared among the team, and that's what we're seeing right now. This is important. We used to rely on Anavic. We've now got goals coming from all strikers, all attacking players are contributing. Snodgrass is finally getting the assists. But is there any final, before I get your man of match in that, is there any final words you would like to say to wrap up the game as a whole?
Yeah, just really on Anderson there. Whilst I agree, he did maybe have a quite. He was probably still our best dribbler. He still could have had a couple of goals. And the point is, a quiet game from now is much better than it was before. When he was trying to adjust, he was anonymous. And I think you've got to put it into context. This was a guy that has struggled to adapt early on to the Premier League, and that was Cardiff today. You know, quite nasty. I love the way we kept on fouling them, but every time we fouled them, we'd give them a cuddle, which I thought was really nice in front of the referee. So, whoops, ruffle their old, let me help you up, mate. But make no mistake about it, we were sticking our foot in against them, and you've got to do that. And I was pleased to see him getting involved as well and tracking back. So he's even that. You're right, a 7 out of 10 maybe or whatever. But it's going to be a lot more confidence and Chicharito's attitude. I think those 2 things. And the tactics, it's been really enjoyable to watch. Really enjoyed that game.
Yeah. What about your man of match? Would you care to pick one? It's difficult tonight. I think that
it is, isn't it? It is. I think you've got to give a special mention to Snodgrass, Perez, of course. I think Diop was excellent again tonight. Shows. I mean, he needs to stop doing that, or someone's going to buy him. Being commanded at the back and strolling forward and getting into the box. I mean, we need to. I don't know, put some invisible spray on him or something. Just make him a cloaking device so no one can see him or something. But Fabianski saved the penalty. It could have been a different game without that save. Fabianski, I think we still would have scored. But anyway, that's the way the game panned out. I could cop out and give the bubbly to Pellegrini, who I think probably deserves it. But I've got to try and pick one out of Rice and Noble, I think, who I just thought were just completely influential. I thought Rice was brilliant today, like a leader, having a go at Perez after he scored and not being in position. Wonderful. I'm going to give it to Mark. Having said that, I'm going to give it to Mark Noble.
Yeah, I was tempted to give it to Noble. I thought he was fantastic. He controlled the tempo of that game from the first minute to the last. That is how you need a centre midfielder to do in the Premier League. He controlled the tempo. If he wanted the team to press up, he was the one that made it happen. You've seen him quite often. He would, like you said, he would sit between the centre backs, and he'd almost just say to players, "Just relax, you know, at 0-0, just relax, calm it down. There's plenty of time here." And that's the difference. Before, under previous managers, we'd have had the manager screaming at the touchline to launch it forward, say, "Why are you passing it 5 yards to someone next to you? Just get the ball forward." But there was none of that, and this is just a joy to watch. This possession football, passing football, keep it on the deck and pass it, patience. This is just beautiful football to watch. It will get frustrating at times. You know, if we finish 0-0, we probably wouldn't be happy. We say, "Oh, this boring passing stuff, just get the ball in the box." But it's enjoyable to watch. My man match, though, is Perez. It has to be. He came on at 0-0 up until, I know he was on for the first half, up until he scored that first goal. I was worried that it was going to take a set piece for us, because the only time we looked dangerous was from set pieces. But he gets his chance and he takes it. On Saturday, we scored 3 against Newcastle, but Arnautovic missed chances, Hernandez missed chances, Anderson misses chances. They all missed chances on Saturday. And tonight, Perez got his first chance and he took it, and I thought, brilliant. And I'll tell you what, Pellegrini's got a headache for Saturday now, because Perez has come on and scored 2. Now, how do you drop someone that scored 2? How can you possibly leave him out of the next game? Your 3 of your back 4 have come in and done all right. Their problem is the ones they've replaced don't deserve to be dropped. That's their problem, because Zabalet's shirt isn't up for grabs. So Antonio's got that issue there. But the players that have come in tonight have said to Pellegrini, "I want to start on Saturday." And Pellegrini's now got a very, very difficult thing to do. And he's now going to be leaving players out that probably deserve to start on Saturday. There's probably about 15 players that deserve to start against Crystal Palace. There's only 11 spaces, unfortunately. And it's about time we did this, because even when we did our previews the last few weeks, we've been saying, which left back do we pick? And we've been trying to pick the crapper of the 2. Well, actually, now we're trying to pick the one that's the better of the 2. And what a change in attitude it is. And the confidence is, there's a new wave of confidence around West Ham. I remember saying to you a couple of weeks ago, we won 3 out of 13. Everybody's chilled. Yeah. It's because of the Pellegrini effect. But anyway, going to any final words before we disappear. Man of the match from me is Perez. Noble from you.
Just Dejan Garner very quickly. I thought he came on and just looked sharp and really, really good. You know, but him and Anderson were too quick. But they were just much quicker than it seemed any player that Cardiff had. And it's just nice to see some pace in the West Ham team.
6 goals for West Ham in the last 2 games, 6 points as well as we head over to Crystal Palace. We've now got that monkey off our back about not winning 2 games in a row in the Premier League since January 2017. But can we do it at 2 games at the London Stadium for pretty much nearly 2 years as well, unfortunately? We've only ever done it once at the London Stadium, I think, since we moved in. That's been Gonzo, I've been Geo, been Ham Utd. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new around here, subscribe. Me and Gonzo will be back very, very soon, because the games are coming thick and fast in December. We'll be here all the way.